Welcome to the Whole Lotta Woman Podcast, where we explore, explain, and discuss what makes us a whole lot of woman in today's society. I created the Whole Lotta Woman brand to embrace the four traits that I feel make someone a whole lot of woman in today's world, and those are beauty, brain, strength, and standards. We'll be covering a variety of topics from relationships to real estate. If you would like to join this sisterhood, please subscribe, share with a friend, and stay tuned for more.
I won't be defined, stars are aligned. What's for me is mine. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of. I've been refined, beauty's divine. All things in God's time. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman.
Hey ladies, welcome to episode 4 of the Whole Lotta Woman Podcast. I want to remind everyone we are on YouTube now. On the YouTube channel, that's where I expand on some of the topics we discussed on the podcast, so I'll put the link in the show notes. I want to remind you all that I'll be releasing a new segment in September called Whole Lotta Woman of the Week. This segment highlights women from all backgrounds and walks of life for their greatness, from stay-at-home moms to boss chicks. We celebrate all women over here. So if you would like to be nominated as Whole Lotta Woman of the Week, please fill out the form on the website. I will put that in the show notes as well. And then let's get on to the show. All right, ladies, like I told you all in episode 3, we are doing a weekly format now instead of a monthly. So this week we are covering the brains aspect of leveling up. So the first thing I want to talk about is having financial awareness. That's very important. And in order to have financial awareness, you got to start with budgeting. So what you need to do is create a realistic budget based off of your lifestyle. Don't go off your homegirl that's making 6 figures a year and she can go out to eat 3 times a month. You can't base your budget off of hers. So you have to come up with a realistic budget based on your income and your lifestyle. You could try using a budgeting book, because I bought one off Amazon. You can create a spreadsheet if you're good with spreadsheets. I'll also include a budgeting worksheet that I found on a website called Social Serve when I used to do social work. So it's one of those budgeting sheets. It breaks down everything: income, all the money that you spend on bills, recreation, going out to eat. It breaks down to smoking and stuff like that. So how much you spend on tobacco, because when I was doing social work, I remember I did this budget sheet with one of my clients, and her thing was that she didn't understand why she never had money at the end of the month. Like, she was getting this check and getting that check and all this kind of stuff, but she had a bad soda and cigarette habit. So she was telling me every day she has to go buy a RC Cola. Sometimes she'll get the 2-liter. Sometimes she might get the just a little soda. But, sometimes the 2-liter could be $2.50, and that little 1-liter you buy out the store could be $1.25. So basically what we did was we broke it down to, like, she was buying a 2-liter a day and running through that, how much that was a week, along with how many packs of cigarettes she was smoking a day. And it basically came out to the fact where she was spending almost $150 every week on soda and cigarettes. So after 4 weeks, that's almost $400-$500. So that's the money that you would have had at the end of the month. You've been drinking and smoking it up. So be conscious of how much money you are actually blowing on certain stuff. Like, it might seem like $3 a day. It might seem like, oh, you want to go to Starbucks during your office days. But if you go into the office 5 days out of the week and you buying a $6 coffee every day, that adds up. If you buying a $6 coffee every day for 3 days out the week, it adds up. So think about your lifestyle and where you could cut corners at. I know you like Starbucks. You don't have to cut it all the way out, but make coffee at home some days. Invest in a machine like a Keurig that you can do the Starbucks drink. So just buy Starbucks coffee. It might not taste the same way, but if you budgeting and you trying to become financially aware, you have to make these changes. Make your coffee at home and get one of them tumblers that's going to keep it hot all day. So you can just take it to work with you and Keep yourself refilled, because that's what I've done. I bought one of those canisters that keep your drinks warm for, would say, 20 hours and cold for 12 hours or something like that. And I just make my coffee before I go to work, and I just refill as I go. I might have to heat it up by the end of the day. It'll still be warm, but if I want it piping hot, just pop it in the microwave. But I'm saving money. Figure out what your monthly income actually is so you know what you have to work with. It's a difference between bringing in $2,000 a month versus $5,000 a month. There's different room to play with. Okay, so break down your monthly income, because some people get paid once a month, some people get paid every week, and some people get paid bi-weekly. Me personally, it was harder for me to budget when I got paid weekly, just because you're getting such a small amount. So you got to put up, if your check $400-$500, you got to put up $200 to save for rent. Then you got to balance this other $200 out between lunch and food and maybe a bill. I just didn't like it. I prefer a bi-weekly pay, honestly. But start there so you know what you're working with. Think about your bills that are non-negotiables: rent, car note, lights. Factor those in first after you figure out your monthly income. Factor out the cost for that. And then you go along with the other things like getting your hair done and the recreational wants and needs. Well, I can't say needs, but going out to eat, getting your hair done, getting your nails done. All that stuff adds up. Also, those subscriptions, how everybody in the world has a subscription package now, like Disney Plus, BET, YouTube. Figure out what subscriptions you need and you don't need between the Amazon Prime and the Instacart. Figure out what you need and what you don't need and start trying to eliminate some of those things. Okay, so the next thing I want to discuss is having financial discipline. So once you become aware of your budget, you have to be disciplined and stick to it. So you might want to read some information about financial literacy to help you understand how to stick to the budget and why it's important and what things to focus on. But financial discipline is a must. So after you create your budget, or while you're creating your budget, after you do your non-negotiables, like I said, your rent and power and stuff like that, you can set money aside for recreation. And once that's spent, you have to stop though. So don't just mindlessly spend $500 a month on going out to eat and shopping and stuff like that. Set aside $300 and just stick to that budget. Either you want these outfits this month, or you want to go out to eat with your girls, or you want to go out to eat with your girls and not have as many rounds of drinks so you can afford this outfit that's in your budget. Do that. You don't have to cut yourself off and live a life of, you know what I'm saying, of somebody who don't want to spend no money and stuff like that. You don't have to do 100% change, but you got to get a grip. You have to get a grip and get some control over your spending. It's easier said than done, but you have to start somewhere. Another thing is live within your means. It's so many people that go broke because they're trying to keep up with the Joneses. Girl, if you ain't making the same money as the Joneses, you can't keep up with them. That's just life. And a lot of people that you're trying to keep up with on like Instagram, or sometimes even around you in your circle, their stuff ain't even real. They don't have their self together. You think they got cars and you think they got all this jewelry. The cars might be in the baby mama name. Car might be rented. Jewelry rented. He's stunting harder than you. Both of y'all faking out here. So, or you blowing your money on real stuff and this man keeping his money in the bank because he faking, but it's fooling you, so it's working. That's all he needed to do, or she needed to do. So stop trying to keep up with what you see other people could do. They might have somebody else sponsoring them. Like I said, her stuff could be fake. You don't know what she did to get her stuff, and it might not be something you want to do. But no, don't try to keep up with other people. Don't go broke for likes, and don't be maxing your credit card out trying to keep up with people. Because people who know you in real life, they gonna be talking about you. They know that you can't afford this lifestyle you keep trying to promote in front. They gonna be talking about the real you, how they saw you the other day and you was broke off the eating off the dollar menu. So don't try to impress people that is never gonna meet you in real life. They don't care about you either way. That's just a follow. So keep that in mind. Be more concerned about the people that know you in real life, because if they see you flexing in front, they gonna talk about you either way. So what did you prove? Who are you proving it to? Imaginary friends? Like, girl, think about it and do better. Okay, so the next thing is credit repair. Fixing your credit is definitely part of the ultimate level up journey. So try to read books on repairing credit. You could join a credit repair program. But first things first, stop being scared to check your credit. I know a lot of people that they don't even want to look at it because they don't know where to start, or they know that it's not going to be high and they're going to feel like they have a lot of work to do and they're going to feel overwhelmed. It's just going to be a lot to take on mentally before you even start the actions to fix it. But you can start by paying off the small balances. So if you got stuff on your credit for $50, $150, stuff under $200, go ahead and knock that out. Some people let you do settlements and stuff, but I can't speak on that because I don't know nothing about credit repair. But that's why I said do your research, find out about settlements, find out about those letters that you could send the credit companies to, like I said, settle, or I don't know the terminology for it, but it's things you can do. So do that research. Join a program if you don't want to do the research yourself, but you still gonna be paying somebody to do probably what you could do yourself. But everybody doesn't have the time for it, so I understand. During this process, do not make new bills if you don't have to while you're trying to pay off your debts. So if you paying off your small balances, you paying off your express credit card, you paying off a gas card, you paying off stuff like that, don't go open a Victoria's Secret credit card while you trying to pay off the other stuff. That makes no sense. And Victoria's Secret is not something you have to have. Now, if you got to go get one, like a Goodyear credit card because your car broke down, that's fine. That makes sense. Life is life. You still got to go be able to make it day to day. But it's a difference between getting a credit card to get your car fixed versus getting a credit card so you can get some bras. Okay? It's a difference. And educate yourself on raising and maintaining your credit score as well as understanding it. That's what me and my boyfriend are actually in the process of doing. So once you get it up, don't let it just go back down because you go back to your old habits. You have to figure out how to maintain it. You need to understand credit. And if you don't feel like understanding credit, you might not need to be trying to utilize a credit card. You might just need to pay your bills on time, do stuff like that. But if you have no financial discipline, you have no business with the credit card, because you're not going to know what to do. It's going to feel like free money, and free money is what it's not. It's actually money you're going to have to pay back and some. So ain't nothing free about interest, okay? Think about that. All right, so expanding your knowledge is another great way to level up mentally. And you can do this by just taking a class or a course to learn a new skill. You can go back to school if you started and didn't finish. You can take a exercise class, like some girls like Pilates, some girls take hip hop courses. Just something. You're learning something new. That's expanding your knowledge. Find a hobby. Me personally, I like to sew. I make shirts. I do a lot of little random stuff in my free time, and it comes to help me. Like I said, I make shirts. My homegirls call me when they need something made for their kids. Um, Stuff like that, anything. Like I said, I'm doing a podcast as a hobby, so you can do anything. But it's good to have different little niches outside of work that you can do, and that makes you more of an interesting person. The more things you do that people can relate to or understand, or ask you about, or you can help them with. So find a little hobby. Some people prefer to volunteer. I used to volunteer in high schools to do proctoring. That's just the lady that's standing in the classroom during your EOGs and walk around and make sure you ain't talking and cheating. I volunteer with high schools to do that all the time. You can volunteer in the community, and that could be at a homeless shelter. That could be anywhere. That could be picking up trash, cleaning up community, Habitat for Humanity. Because this could give you a greater understanding of other people's experiences and what they go through in their lives. Especially if you're somebody who never came from a struggling background. You don't know what it's like, but you want to understand that other people are not as blessed and aren't, and I don't even want to say as blessed, they don't have as many material things as you. So you might want to get a clear understanding of how the other people live so you can have that kind of empathy for them because you really know what they go through. It's not like watching it on TV. And you can talk to real people in the community and see how they got into those positions and maybe help them further along with that. So you never know who you can run into and whose life you can change. A couple hours of your life could be life changing to somebody else who actually needs it. You building them a house in Habitat and Humanity. You donating clothes. You buying a meal. They might not have had a fresh meal in weeks or months. You never know. And so that could show them that people in the world don't just not care about them. They're still seen as human by others. That's you want to give people that kind of feeling because the world is so mean to homeless people. And I didn't mean to start the volunteer thing on just on homeless, but I'm just thinking about that demographic. So you could really touch somebody. Like I said, I don't know which episode it was in, but after one of my birthdays, I had a whole bunch of food left over. I took it to the men's shelter of Charlotte because why not? I'm not going to eat 50 chicken wings, but these men, they might not have had a fresh hot meal in a long time, and if I can do that and there's no skin off my back, why not? So try to be considerate in the things that you do and how you can help other people. And you don't always have to get credit for it, but just a sense of self-worth. It'll give you a sense of self-worth, and it's not over material things. That's bigger than buying somebody a good birthday gift that's in your circle. That's better than buying my friend a Louis Vuitton bag when she already got 4. Let me give a meal to somebody who didn't know where that next meal was coming from. Let me be that light in their life. And you pass that on. You spread that torch. You know what I mean? So volunteering really, really, really opens up your eyes and opens up to your heart to others. And I really like doing that, and I love the idea of that. So not getting paid for your time, that shows a lot of character. Stepping out of your comfort zone to help somebody else, that shows a lot. So it's up to you how you want to do it, but like I said, taking a class, finding a hobby, or volunteering, expand your knowledge some kind of way, because it doesn't always have to be book knowledge. It could be life experience. Like I said, talking to a homeless person to find out how they ended up in their position. Everybody out on the street ain't drug addicts. Some people just had a bad break. Some people lost their job and got that 1 or 2 paychecks behind and just couldn't catch up. And they just couldn't catch a break. So think about those things and figure out what way would you like to expand your knowledge and how it can help you. Career advancement. That's another way to level up mentally. So, I mean, that's not even just mentally, but, push yourself for career advancement. So you could do this by applying to a new job in itself. You might be so comfortable at your job that you don't realize somebody across town is getting paid 10 or 20K more than you to do the same thing you're doing. But it's just the fact that you're so comfortable. You've been with the company for 30 years and it's a good company and you're dedicated to them and they got a good retirement package that you haven't even looked around to realize it's other people that came up with better packages and better pay. And it might be less stressful to you. It might be a better working environment, but you so used to what you know that you don't want to step out to see if there's anything better for you. Sometimes you got to put your foot out there. Doing something like just updating your resume can make the difference in your job opportunities, because some people don't realize that when you don't put in the little things that you feel like, oh, well, they know what comes with being a customer service agent. Everybody doesn't. If you started a project or you headed a project, you put that on the notes too, because that's going above and beyond your job. So make sure you put everything you do on your resume. Like in my job now, my boss has been putting me on some special projects. So each project I'm on, I'm making little notes on my notepad of the name of the project and exactly what I'm doing for the project and how that's impacting the whole company. So I'm making sure whoever reads my resume knows that, oh, okay, she wasn't just doing the IT part. She was doing XYZ as well on top of the IT part. So that shows that I can do multiple things. I'm a critical thinker. I can balance multiple jobs at once. So make sure you give yourself credit for everything you do on that resume. So when you are applying for that new job, they'll see that, okay, she been over there 30 years doing this, and that. I can see why she been, or why they want to keep her, or why she been over there, but let's be competitive. And so if she's doing that over there, let's offer her this. So don't cut yourself short. Also, upward mobility as far as getting certified in your field. So, in some jobs you have level 1, level 2, level 3. Well, let's say you've been at level 2 for 5-6 years. Yeah, you know the job inside and out and you're comfortable and it's a no-brainer to you now. But the difference between your level and the next one is $50K. So do you want to be comfortable at the same little rate you've been making, or do you want to take a little course, get a little certified in something, and then be able to make $50K more in the next 6 months, or the next time opportunities come around, you can apply for that job that's the $200K job when you only making $100K, or you only making $60K. You know what I mean? Just think about how it can help you financially and career-wise, expanding your knowledge by getting certified in something in your field. Just don't get complacent in your job. There's always more things to learn and ways to do better. So keep that in mind and try to figure out what way you can advance your career, what's realistic for your life. And something that I feel like we can all do is network. And you can network online, you can network in person. You never know who you're talking to. So I'm not even saying only network with people that you know work at your job or in your field. When you're out and about in the world and you start talking to somebody in the line at Walmart and they reveal that they own a IT company or a certain kind of company, and you have an expertise, you can say, oh, well, I do IT for XYZ, or I do customer service for this, that, and the other. So you could say what you do and see how those two worlds mesh, and next thing you know, you might be getting a job offer. Anything, but you got to open your mouth. You can't just think that only the people in your work vicinity are there to help you and can advance you. No, you never know who you are walking past, who you're talking to in the line. So go to these events as well. It's plenty of network mentors in a lot of cities. So try to put yourself out there, get you some business cards that just say what you do. So after you talk to somebody, you can give them your card and you'll still be on their mind. They're not going to forget you soon as they leave or after they have the next 2 drinks. At least they can go in their wallet and say, I do remember having a conversation with this person. And make sure you get their card as well and reach out the next day in a sober mind. Some kind of way, like email, just to say, nice speaking to you the other day and touching bases with you, yada, yada, yada. And so, yeah, so that's networking will get you so far, especially if you don't want to apply for a new job yet. I know some people are scared that their boss will find out and that'll affect them. So if you're one of those people, just figure out a different way to advance your career, but don't ever stop and don't get complacent. All right, so thank you for listening to episode 4 of the Whole Lotta Woman Podcast, where we discuss the brains aspect of leveling up. And before we go, I just want to remind you guys, please, if you can, leave me a review or send me a voice note. I'll leave the link in the show notes. That way, all you have to do is click on it and then choose message, and then it'll let you leave me a voice note of whatever you want me to hear, topic suggestions, anything. Don't forget, we got the Whole Lotta Woman of the Week, and you can be nominated for that by filling out the form in the show notes as well. And so that's all for this week's episode of the Whole Lotta Woman Podcast. Tune in next week for the strength segment on how to level up. All right, guys. Thank you. And always remember, beauty, brains, strength, and standards are what make you a whole lot of woman.
I won't be defined. Stars are aligned. What's for me is mine. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of. I've been refined. Beauty's divine. All things in God's time. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. I'm a whole lot of woman. This for all my women, 'cause you're a whole lot of woman.